got a steering problem?
Yeah. What do you want staring at us?
You said what?
Why do you keep staring at us? You want to be trespassing?
Y'all walking like a unit. I can't admire y'all.
You're not going to stare down at us. You're not going to be intimidated with us, okay?
I was admiring y'all. You staring at me, I was just staring at you.
Okay. As long as that's what it is, bro. We can make it
That's
some
exactly
BS.
what it was, bro.
Okay.
So what?
Because usually when people stare me down, they have a problem with that.
Nah, I'm staring at you. You staring at me. I'm just looking at y'all as a unit. That's
All
what
right,
it was.
just making sure we're all good then.
Yeah.
All right, have a good night.
You too. Blessings. Have a good night.
You want to leave Westgate or are you being serious right now?
I'm leaving.
Okay, all right.
Well, I'm saying blessings. Good night.
All right. This nigga's tripping.
Oh, wow.
Fuck out of here. You're really not welcome in this state or this country.
You are wearing scrubs. You work with
It
people
doesn't
of that
matter.
culture.
What matters is that you worship a terrorist who is a warlord, a pedophile, and Islam is a terrorist organization.
Yeah,
not
because
a
you're not
religion.
educated
Not
about
a religion.
it.
I'm very educated on this subject.
No, because you're obviously not.
You need to leave. You're not welcome here.
We are
This
welcome
is not a
here.
Muslim country. This is a Christian country. And
Stop
you need
looking
to
at
leave.
her like that, please.
You need to leave.
You need to leave.
You're not welcome here.
We have citizenship
Why do you work
here.
in healthcare if you're like
You need
this?
to leave. You need to go back to your Islamic country where you came from. Okay?
No.
Everybody's aware of why you're here.
No.
Okay, so don't think that we don't know, and don't think you're gonna get away with it.
I'm pretty sure we're kind people, but you're not being kind, so you can get out of here. You're not.
And look, this has been going on for over a dozen years. Go home. Get out. We know our country's better than yours. That's because we filled it with our work ethic and our culture and our values. You being here only dilutes it for us, those who built it and live it. And half of you people, more than half, you won't assimilate. We don't want you. We don't care if you're offended. Get out. Go home. Go back to fucking Haiti. Sorry. I'm thinking about our friends in Ohio who've been dealing with these TPS Haitians for years now, who are drunk driving all over their towns and killing people. This is the whole cats and dogs thing. Like, they don't want to live like Americans live. And this was supposed to be it was supposed to be temporary help. And it's turned into another backdoor way of allowing someone permanent residency here.
If you guys are fucking around, you're fucking around on the wrong street.
Like, that's crazy, you know.
Show me your business card.
Oh, you have it right there. So I don't believe this is to be necessary, but I don't appreciate how you came up to me like that. We could have handled it a
Why
little
come
bit
y'all going door to door? Why you just pick on random houses?
Well, because
It's
there's some people without cars.
Some people with cars, like some people don't have cars, some people do have cars, and our specific service is cleaning cars, mobile detailing. We take it to them rather than having to go to a shop.
Okay, well, my car's right there. You walked right by me. Why didn't you stop and ask me?
Because we started on the end of the neighborhood, and we're coming around. We're just checking it
That's the
out.
only reason why I didn't go up to yours either, sir. I was actually
And
just
he
checking
offers
out.
a window cleaning
And I was
service.
just checking out the garage.
I can tell you checking out the homes. I want to know why.
Yes, sir. I understand. I understand
I get
why
it.
you'd be worried, but we don't have any bad intentions at all, sir. We just wanted to. We're just young kids. We're college kids trying to make money this summer.
Oh,
We
I
just started
understand
a
that.
business.
Nothing on our record. If you want to look it up, you got IDs.
I don't want to look it up.
All right, well,
I can tell you.
Can you please put that away?
If you want to fuck with people,
We're not fucking with nobody.
You got the wrong fucking street.
We're not.
Everybody starts at 0, and your attitude makes you go up or down.
Yes, sir.
It's real simple. I know it is. It's ready to fucking. It's always ready to shoot.
What the hell is this guy just turned into a motivational speaker?
Everybody starts at 0, and your attitude makes you go up or down. I know it is. It's ready to fucking. It's always ready to shoot.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh shit! Oh fuck! G is silent here. Now, all you black folks, I suggest you get away from all these white folks.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 14, it reads, "And it shall be as the chased roe, like a chased deer, and as a sheep that no man taketh up, they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land." All right, verse 15, "Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword." All right, so this is going into like, people are going to cleave to their own people. All right, it ain't going to be no more, all right, we are the world. All right, everybody come together. No. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to have to be joined on to so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, because if you're joined on to the devil, which is the so-called self-proclaimed white man, which he's not white, he's red, all right, or any of these other heathen nations, you're going to be thrust through with a sword. All right, that's the times that we're coming into. So before I continue, I'd like to start out by giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. All right, today is July the 2nd, year 2026. All right, the year of the apostate, the year of the sellout, the year of the agent, the year of Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? Jacob representing the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans through the seed of our fathers. We're the Israelites. We're in captivity under the Edomites, the so-called self-proclaimed white nation, which they're not white. Again, they're red. And according to the Bible, they're the Hebrew Edomites. All right, the wicked the Bible speaks of, the devil the Bible speaks of, the adversary the Bible speaks of. All right, the physical embodiment of Satan on this earth. You know what I'm saying? That's you so-called self-proclaimed white folks that come from the loins of Edom, Esau. All right, but you see where we at with it. All right, another one of these lessons dealing with that enmity. All right, the division that the Lord is bringing between Jacob and Esau. All right, the Lord told Rebekah when she was pregnant that 2 nations were in her womb, and 2 manner of people are going to be separated from her bowels. All right, and we see today, that fight that was taking place in the womb has continued out, all right, into the streets, and in this time frame, this eon, this age, all right, this generation that we're in right now, this is the generation where Jacob and Esau are going to clash for that very last time, because this is the time when Esau is taken out of the rulership seat by Yahweh Shai. All right, so Judah is being roused up. All right, Ephraim's being roused up. All right, so you got a problem on your hands, Esau. All right, I showed you the opening clip. All right, I think that was Northern Kingdom. All right, could have been Ephraim, Issachar. All right, one of the Northern Kingdom tribes. You know, just walking down the street. All right, and they come across a pack of Edomite cops. All right, and you see how that went. The Edomite cops basically pressed them for saying they was looking at him a certain way. All right, he had to get the devil a soft answer in so many words, and you know, but that's just showing that this clash is coming. All right, it's bubbling right now. All right, you know, you got a pot of water on the stove, and it's heating up to the point where the water is bubbling. That's where we're at. All right, in society, you know, this place is getting fattened up for that slaughter. All right, and a great fight is going to take place between Jake and the devil. You know what I'm saying? I showed you the second clip. All right, these fucking Edomite cops protect the Edomite man. All right, they let him run up behind one of the Jakes and punch him in the back of the head. You know what I'm saying? And then when the other Jake, you know, comes to address that shit, you know, they want to hold him back. All right, they let his woman run up behind him and shit. You know, this is just showing that Esau is the devil. All right, he's the devil. All right, and we know this. All right, the scripture said in the last days. All right, what is that? 2 Thessalonians, I think it's 1. That that man of sin. Is it this one? Hold on, y'all. It might be 1 Thessalonians. Let me see. Hold on. All right, my bad, y'all. But yeah, it's right here in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. All right, and I'm gonna jump down to verse 3. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there shall come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." All right, and that's Esau. You know what I'm saying? That falling away came, you know, when we lost this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We were those dead bodies in the street, as it speaks of in Revelation chapter 11 and verse 8. You know, the northern kingdom was over here following the Assyrian captivity, and the southern kingdom, so-called Negroes, Haitians, and Jamaicans, were brought over here following when did we come over here? During 1619. Yeah, that's when they brought us over the transatlantic slave trade, as they call it. All right, and that's when we fell away from who we were. All right, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding was beat out of us. All right, and we were giving you devils to worship. All right, red Jesus. All right, so we fell away, but now we're back. All right, you know, the Lord brought this truth back into the earth in 1969. You know, by Albert Bivens. So now, you know, the man of sin has been revealed. All right, which are you Edomites, you so-called self-proclaimed white men. All right, I go back to the line of Edom. Let me see. Verse 4, "Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called Yahweh Shem Power, or that is worship, so that he as Yahweh Shem Power sitteth in the temple of Yahweh Shem Power, showing himself to be that he is Yahweh Shem Power." That's Esau. All right, and again, he crossed out Yahweh Shai, you know, and put up Cesare. All right, so I'm gonna jump down a little bit. Verse 7, it say, "For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way." All right, and that's what Yahweh Shai is coming to do, take Esau out of the way. All right, Isaiah 63 and verse 1, "Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra, traveling in the greatness of his strength?" All right, and that's Yahweh Shai coming back on a great big chariot with a holy host of chariots with him, to make war with you devils and your militaries and your men of war, and he's going to destroy all of you. All right, and there's going to be no more militaries on this earth, because the Lord is going to wipe all of them out, starting with the Edomite military. All right, verse 8 is saying, "And then shall that wicked be revealed," the wicked of the Edomites, "whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth." All right, that's the prophets. That's how the Lord speaks, through his prophets. "And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming." All right, again, that's the chariots. All right, so Esau's been made bare. All right, he's been exposed. He's been spotlighted. You know, he's been revealed. All right, through the mouthpiece of the Lord, which is the prophets. Tell you about that in Luke chapter 1, verse 70, "As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began." All right, and it say, "And shall destroy him with the brightness of his coming." Again, the Lord is coming back on a great chariot. Verse 9, "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. That's you Edomites. You're the Satans on this earth. Verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. All right, it's 2/3 of our people, because the Lord is only coming to save Israelites. All right, he ain't coming to save no heathens. 2 out of 3 of the Lord people that reside over here in America are going to die with these heathens that's over here. You know what I'm saying? But it's just showing you, all right, that this man is the devil. Esau, he's the physical embodiment of Satan on this earth. You know what I'm saying? He does the devil's work. All right, as Edomite said in the movie, the devil's rejects. All right, he said, I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work. All right, that's you Edomites. You're the deceiver. All right. And then also you had some, what else I have up in that comp? Yeah, you had them when they let him beat up on Jake. Then you had the last clip, all right, where old Keisha, you know what I'm saying, and put that fire on this devil, all right, and send his ass to, you know what I'm saying, to the spirit world, all right, he did what the devil does. He stalked her, you know what I'm saying. She had that thing out. She had the phone recording. She had all of that, and bad news beat Esau home, and that's how the Lord wanted. She ain't fucking with you like that no more, Esau. All right, you done lost Keisha. This is Luke 12:49. It say, I am come to send fire on earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? Verse 50, but I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straitened till it be accomplished? Because Yahushua had to go up on that cross. Verse 51, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. All right, and that's what you're seeing. You know what I'm saying? Division on all levels. All right, again, you're seeing how the Edomite slave patrol cops looked at, you know what I'm saying, the Northern Kingdom in one clip, but then you're seeing how they defended the Edomite in the other. So it's showing that lines in the sand have been drawn. All right, and ultimately, if you're not on the side of this truth, all right, ultimately being of the house of David, then you're gonna get caught up out here. All right, in some shape, fashion, or form, you're gonna get caught up out here. All right, because the Lord is only gonna defend his elect. This Galatians 6:7, be not deceived, Yahweh Shem Yahushua power is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the spirit shall of the spirit reap life everlasting. All right, and that's what the elect are gonna be doing, sowing to the spirit. All right, 2/3 of our people are carnal, and they're gonna be ultimately used as weapons, to fight the devil in some shape or to be slaughtered by the devil. It is what it is. The Lord got a controversy with 2/3 of our people. He got a controversy with Esau. The only people the Lord is cool with right now is his elect. The house of David. I'm saying, 1 second, y'all. All right. And that doesn't exclude, these other nations. All right, because you see, all right, what the devil is doing to Ishmael. All right, pressing up on the Ishmaelites in the stores and shit. Tell them you're not accepted in this country. You need to go back to your country. All right, tell them that they worship a tyrant. All right, you fucking Edomite Christians are tyrants. All right, you worship a tyrant. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ. You know how many serial killers and how many terrible people claim to be Christians? All right, I'm gonna show y'all something right quick. Watch this. Hold on, and I'm gonna use this in another lesson too. But I'm gonna show y'all something. And they're all Edomites. 1 second. All right, so check this out. All right, and you be the judge of it. And it's gonna tell you who the devil is. All right, you watch this. And I guarantee the majority of these individuals will claim to be fucking modern day Christians. This is the devil right here. This is the man of sin being revealed. All right, the sociopath red maniac on this earth. All right. And it just goes to show, you know what I'm saying, that they blend in this society because this society is led by their people, the devil. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it, their follower. So that's why you got these red pieces of shit out and about doing what they do. All right, and they've been revealed. All right, Satan has been revealed. It's all about if the Lord gave you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to hear the message. All right. These are all Edomites. Can't make this up, man. As the scriptures say, the wicked go astray from the womb. Alright. So as soon as these Edomites come out of the womb, they're wicked and they go straight to the madness that they do. Alright, so I showed it to you. You know what I'm saying? So you saw it. Alright. So yeah, you see who the devil is, alright. We've showed you. Alright. But who've obtained this report? Only the elect can obtain it, and the rest were blinded. Alright, let me see. I got my shit moving slow now. I'll read this in Galatians 4 in verse 16. It says, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Alright, and the answer to that is yes. Alright, to most people, we become the enemy. Alright, you know, especially the 2/3 of our people. We tell them about these devils, and we tell these niggas about, you know, what Yahushua, who Yahushua is, what he's about, what he's coming to do. He's not a white man. His name ain't Jesus. All right, and these niggas, they can't accept it. So fuck them. At the end of the day, John chapter 8 and verse 44. Ye, these 2/3 are of your father, the devil. All right, the Edomites. You're just like an Edomite. In the lust of your father, you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. All right, and we got to also remember, you know, when it comes to these undesirables of Israel, we got to remember what the Lord said about them. All right, the Lord told us don't pray for them, because we got to remember what they did. All right, they gave Yahushua to be crucified. They said we ain't had no king but Caesar. They say that this blood be on them and their children. So, you know, when Esau used and abused them, that's the sword and the punishment of the Lord. Jeremiah 7 and 16. Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. So we can't pray for 2/3 of our people. All right. Job 12 and 16. With him is strength and wisdom, the deceived and the deceiver are his. Excuse me. So this division, all right, this you know, battle of the races that's going down out here, you know, that's for the 2/3 and for the heathens. All right, the elect are gonna sit back and watch this whole thing play itself out. Jeremiah 7 and 17. Seest thou not what they do in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? All right, and we're a people before a place, and we're not, as a nation, we're not in Jerusalem. The majority of Judah is over here in America, and we see what these niggas is doing in these streets. All right, they getting ready to fight you devils the same way you're getting ready to fight them. All right, the YNs got guns, the devil got guns. You know what I'm saying? Keisha got guns, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Saw another clip, this old piece of shit, all right, pulled a gun on the Jakes, all right, for, you know, walking down the street, giving out business cards and shit to, you know, detail cars and get their college funds. But what this devil do? All right, come out with the sword, all right, ready to get down on them, you know, but the Lord was with them, and, you know, they lived to see another day. But we'll see, all right, how that plays out in the end. Because again, you niggas, you run across the devil and you see him, and he shows you he's the devil. But the thing about it is you niggas just can't perceive it. You just can't see it. All right, you might see it as that one particular individual. He's a one-off, but you don't see him as their whole nation being that way. All right, now we know it's not a color thing per se. You got Jakes, Israelites that look like Edomites, Edomites that look like Israelites. But that spirit, you know, if the Lord is with you, you're gonna know the spirit of an Edomite, because it's gonna be ready to kill your ass. All right, never trust thine enemy. All right, he's gonna be ready to, you know, man. But that's pretty much it for the lesson. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna make it no much longer. You know, I just want to spotlight these devils. All right, and let you 2/3 in the world know that he's coming. All right, and that goes for you heathens over here too. This nigga is coming. He ain't just zeroed in on Jacob. He's zeroing in on you too. All right, he trying to kill everybody that ain't an Edomite. All right, you got the Edomites talking shit to the Haitians. All right, telling them to go back to their shithole country. All right, telling them that they built up America. You know, just the pride of Esau. You know what I'm saying? But pride go before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. And this nigga is about to fall. All honor, glory, and praise go to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect, Kwam Yasharal, and the Bible Ball.